Leeds, where we are expecting any moment, you can see Pete Townshend there, to unveil the blue plaque. Let's listen in and hear what they have to say.
Then Leeds University would never have been the legendary rock venue that it's become today. And it was largely, through their efforts that I was able to inherit 10 years later that legacy. So boys, thank you very much indeed. I also want to thank Professor Michael Arthur, the Vice-Chancellor, and one or two of his lieutenants, Roger Gare, the University Secretary, and Vanessa Bridge, all of whom have worked really hard, and all the people in their departments, to pull this together with me secretly over the last 12 months. It's been a bugger of a job, but we've done it. And this all started because the university very kindly gave me an honorary doctorate last year, and Professor Arthur and I were standing, they held a drinks reception for me on the stage in there, because it was like the scene of all these triumphs. And just in the course of the afternoon, over a beer, Professor Arthur says to me, we've applied to the Civic Trust to have a blue plaque outside commemorating the Who's live at Leeds in 1970. And I said, that's fantastic, and about time too. 2 weeks later, I'm at the Warmad Festival with Robert Plant, who's a friend of mine, and Robert is managed by Bill Kirbishley, who also manages the Who. And I was just talking to Bill after Robert's gig, and I said, 2 weeks ago, Leeds honorary doctorate, blue plaque going up. I said, there's only two people, really, who can unveil that plaque. And he said, I agree with you. And I said, and Bill, while they're up there unveiling the plaque, ... and I didn't have to finish the sentence. Bill finished the sentence for me. And so, the people I want to thank most are you guys for coming back again. And I really meant it, that no one else could do this. So please, Pete, Roger, would you do us the honour of unveiling the plaque? Thank you.
If you just joined us, what you're seeing here is the two surviving members of The Who unveiling a plaque at the University of Leeds refectory. They're doing it there because they performed a particularly legendary concert performance there, The Who live at Leeds, the most celebrated live album of a generation. Let's hear what Roger Daltrey has to say.
The venues that we used to play in those days, but so were all the other universities, and I must say that without those universities to play in, venues were kind of thin on the ground, so my big thank you to Leeds and all the others for being there. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. Thanks. This is. I wrote in my diary this morning that we're embarking on the first world tour that we've ever done as The Who. It's just Roger and I from the original lineup. I think very much today about the late Keith Moon, the late John Edwards.
Yeah.
Who were at that concert. Somebody sent me an email the other day to say that at one of the performances that we did, they think it was at Leeds, we played a song called Water, and Keith Moon shouted out, "That's our name for brandy." Peter Blake at the opening just now said that when he first came to see us at the Lyceum, when I think we kicked off Quadrophenia there in 1973, he pinched a bottle of our brandy and he thinks I didn't notice. But what Roger said is absolutely true. There were two really important things for British rock music and pop music. One was the pirate radio scenario, and the next was the university committees. And a lot of the people that run rock today, from Harvey Goldsmith, Peter Rudge, right the way across the board, they started their career booking for universities, and we're very, very grateful. And it was a piece of luck, not only for us, but as I put in a website diary the other day, we played a song on Live at Leeds called Young Man Blues by an unknown Mississippi jazz musician called Mose Allison, and it kind of made him rich. So he's been very grateful. So thanks a lot to you all for being here. Thanks for showing up. And thank you so much for the honours today and for the plaque. It's just great. As I wrote in my diary, this is a perfect way to start this tour. I'm so happy and so moved and so glad to be here.
So there you go, Pete Townshend of The Who with Roger Daltrey unveiling that plaque there to honour the legendary concert venue, which is the University of Leeds refectory. Many famous bands have performed at that venue, but it all started off when The Who performed their performance there live at Leeds perhaps the most celebrated live album of its generation. We'll have more on that story later.
To Sky's Miranda Shunker, who's at Leeds University. So a welcome reception there for Roger Daltrey and Pete Townshend, Miranda.
Very much so. The atmosphere here was absolutely electric when they came out onto the platform there where that plaque was unveiled. Several hundreds of people here, many of the fans who will be attending tonight's concert, which is starting in an hour or two's time. They are playing tonight to 2,100 people, so a very intimate occasion. Speaking to Roger Daltrey earlier, he said that they will be playing some new material. They've been rehearsing hard because obviously after this gig they're going on to European and American tours. But I also spoke to Pete Townshend, who said it was great to be back and he's very excited about getting up on the stage here again at this university dining hall.
This is the first show come out of rehearsal. We will make mistakes, we'll be clunky, we'll be achy, we'll lose our voice. I'll probably knock my fingernail off as I always do on the first show, and so there'll be blood everywhere. I don't know, we're not trying to match what we did then, we're just hoping to honour the spirit and the energy that there is today. What a fantastic turnout and what a wonderful day to be here.
I mean, what did you think was so special about the atmosphere, the fans here at Leeds?
You know, in those days, it was really pretty much the atmosphere that you felt at every university show. But, you know, as Andy Kershaw said earlier, and he was involved in the committee that book bands subsequent to the Who shows here, it was a time when the university audience drove not only, they drove where they had a control over the direction of the music. What they liked tended to be the music that charted, tended to be the music. And those people were very, very loyal. So, for example, if they booked you at their show, at their university, and then you went on to get a hit, they stayed with you, stayed with you, stayed with you. So a lot of those people became fans for life. So it's a big, and that's unusual. So,
there's a lot of them here tonight.
That's right, seems so, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Well, this venue is not only very special to The Who, but also to many of the other biggest names in rock who've played here over the years, the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin and The Clash, to name a few. But tonight is The Who's night, and if I step aside, you'll just be able to see some of the fans at the very start of the queue. They've been queuing from around 10 o'clock this morning. They're absolutely desperate to get to those front row positions, and certainly tonight, I'm sure it will be a night to remember.
Indeed, Miranda, I'm sure it will be rocking in Leeds this evening. Thanks very much for now.
They've been rocking around the world for more than 40 years. But it was from the start The Who set an early benchmark for explosive live performances, the most memorable of which was here at the University of Leeds refectory, and where today the two surviving original members returned to commemorate that infamous concert.
This is the first show of a tour, so we've only just come out of rehearsal. We will make mistakes, we'll be clunky, we'll be achy, we'll lose our voice. I'll probably knock my fingernail off as I always do on the first show, and so there'll be blood everywhere. I don't know, we're not trying to match what we did then, we're just hoping to honour the spirit and the energy that there is today. What a fantastic turnout and what a wonderful day to be here.
We're going to play some new stuff tonight for the first time in public, which will be exciting. I'll probably forget all the words, but it's always the first step of a journey, and this is one big step for us, actually.
But the idea wasn't meant to be just a trip down memory lane, but a chance to recreate the rock magic in front of an intimate audience.
It did a lot to cement their reputation as a formidable live act. And it also, it has to be said, did an awful lot to cement the reputation of this place as well as a legendary rock and roll venue. After The Who had done that concert in February 1970, everybody wanted to play here after that.
Over the years, this university dining hall has played host to some of the biggest names in rock, the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin and The Clash, to name a few. But tonight, The Who are taking to the stage in front of 2,100 fans in what promises to be a night to remember. After the tickets sold out in half an hour, it's not surprising expectations for tonight's gig are high, although it seems the fans are just happy to be reliving history one more time. Miranda Shunker, Sky News, Leeds.